Welcome to MaatSpeaks, and welcome to another episode of Maat Wednesdays. I am happy that you joined me again today as we continue to discuss the principles of Maat. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Leah Kenyatta, and here on this channel, MaatSpeaks, we aim to bring Maat back to our communities through the 7 principles of Maat, which are truth, order, justice, balance, harmony, reciprocity, and righteousness. During Maat Wednesdays, we take a deeper dive into the principles so that we can learn how to apply these principles in our daily lives and use them to build unity in our families and community. Today, we will be discussing righteousness. So the past few weeks, we discussed 6 other principles: truth, reciprocity, justice, harmony, balance, and order. So if you haven't watched those videos, I do suggest you watch those videos first and then come back to this video. So again, Maat, the Neteret or goddess of divine order, truth, balance, and justice, teaches us how to bring balance and order into our lives through the 7 principles of Maat in order for us to reclaim who we are and make the most of our lives and manifest in the subconscious and conscious world. Remember, family, as we embark on self-transformation, we self-reflect, acknowledge the changes we need to make, and apply the changes needed on a personal level, which can have a great impact on our relationships and affect how we developed a code and culture in our own homes and community. We will continue reading from the book, The 14 Keys, Power, Unity, and Success Unlocked. So let's discuss righteousness. Oftentimes, we hear righteousness being closely related to morality, and rightly so, for morality in essence is teaching right and wrong. Righteousness in essence is the action or state of being, such as the behaviors, words, actions, thoughts, and feelings which prevent you from doing harm or wrong to others and yourself. But let's go a little deeper with it. So morality is typically a set of guidelines or principles set by the environment in which you reside, but can be set by yourself, family, and community. Righteousness is often closely tied to religion and is often seen as actions in order to be right with the Creator. The thing is, whose moral code or morality are we following? What is right and wrong? Are there dangers to following a moral code set by invaders? Look at it this way. If we follow a moral code set by people that look to dominate, control, kill, and go against nature, then when someone is killed that is native to us or look like us, would we see that as moral or immoral? Would we rationalize or give reasons why that person deserved the so-called justice or injustice that came to him? When we discuss morality, we discuss it as wrong or right, good or evil. But in my opinion, there's a problem with that, because who determines what is good? What is evil? Who determines who gets to live and who gets to die? Who determines what's good for me, my family, and my community? So let's get to the root of this morality and righteousness debate. Separation. We are introduced to this separation in the Western world when we hear separation of church and state. In the book, Know Thyself, Naeem Akbar teaches us that the separation between sacred and secular instruction came about when the self was split into the sacred, which is the soul, and rational, which is the mind. This split continues to haunt Western education and Western psychology. So moral instructions were meant to develop the spiritual core or soul of the African self. The difference between morality being presented in the Western world and in the African system is that the Western world, morality, is limited to religious teachings, while the African system is holistic and not limited to religious literature. This is shown in the book Hosea by Dr. Karinga. It says, "The sages teach their children and the people to think Ma'at, speak Ma'at, and do Ma'at in secular and sacred situations. For this will not only ensure a mutually beneficial community based on Ma'at, but also everlasting life." In Know Thyself, Naim Akbar continues, and he says, "A person sees his or her life as a divinely given responsibility that must be discovered in order to move towards the advancement of humankind." So, in other words, righteousness should lead us to not just what is right or wrong, good or evil, but it should always lead us to what is best and helpful to the community, to the planet, and to the universe. So let us continue diving deeper into the Ma'atic principle, righteousness, from the book of the 14 Keys, Power, Unity, and Success Unlocked by Chief Yua. Righteousness is the act of being functionally relevant within the current perceptual context. Our codes of righteousness should be certified by the needs and policies required for our liberation. Propriety, or righteousness, is not akin to morality, which is usually offered up through religious dogmatic indoctrination. Example: swearing on the Bible. Swearing on the Bible only means something to one who appraises the Bible a sacred object. In the Ogun state of Nigeria, individuals going through a legal process pledge their affirmations on a piece of iron. In these examples, we see propriety is linked with personal devotion to something considered sacred, as prescribed by a larger social architecture. Our commencing environment is the maternal womb. From there, the enclosure expands outwards to our kinship consciousness, and then cyclically reciprocates back into a perception of self. Each environment requires a code of governance, which allows the dweller to best take advantage of the laws that govern that environment. So, for example, righteousness within the eternal body awareness would display the law and ideal spirit of the body. We typically refer to this as good health. If what you are doing is not working towards the crowning notions of an improved contract within an environment, it is unrighteous. Righteousness compels us to do what is right. However, right and wrong are subjective particularities depending on the social or personal concern of an individual. Righteousness is just as subjective as the idea of good. Performing righteous or unrighteous acts engenders karma. The karmic cycle compels one to engage their environment via some form of deed. No matter the intention of the initiator, the action will dualistically fall into the act of righteous or unrighteous. The artist Nas once said, "I exhale the yellow smoke of Buddha through righteous steps." In his song, It Ain't Hard to Tell, additionally, we read in the book known as the Holy Bible, Psalm 37:23, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord." The very footsteps of an individual can be considered right or wrong depending on the effect they have on the fulfillment of said individual's destiny, and their surroundings. A turn to the left or the right can set off a series of events that either lead a person farther along the path of their purpose or could lead them on a decade-long digression. Propriety, or righteousness itself, is an active universal organism that finds nature in the embodiment of the given moment. Reformation is its means of survival. Truth is an evolving presence. When truth seeks out the exhibition of its own level in any given moment, it offers its wisdom to the individual as righteousness. When an individual is filled with the deified power known as truth, they become righteous. The power of truth is revealed on a personal level by the living of its doctrine and commandments. Righteousness can be defined by the infill and living of the spiritual truth. If truth provides the light that navigates one to their highest purpose, then righteousness can be the abiding light within an individual. To be righteous is to be completed with light. This light helps to provide directional agency and is not within itself the truth. Knowledge is not enough. Knowledge must stand inside of the seeker. Inner standing. It should be understood that all the aforementioned concepts are alterable and subject to the soul of the ascribed context. This is the end of the chapter. We have just completed discussing the 7 principles of Ma'at, but we are not done yet. Next week, during Ma'at Wednesdays, we will start linking the principles of Ma'at to community building to enhance the success of the collective. Again, if you would like your own copy of Chief Yua's book, the link is in the description. Comment below, family, and give me your thoughts on how we can get back to seeking righteousness holistically for the success of our communities. Thank you for watching. Peace, family. See you next time.